Dear students, hope you are great. Today we are going to take chapter 1, matter and its properties, section 3, elements. Some elements are metals or non-metals. So element divided into two main sections, metals and non-metals. Some of elements, not all elements. Some elements are divided into two main sections, metals and non-metals. So the periodic table that contain elements is divided into two main sections, metals and non-metals. Metal found in the periodic table at the left and in the center of the periodic table, while non-metals found are toward the right. So metal found at the left of the periodic table and in the center, while non-metals toward the right. What's meant by metal? Metal is an element that is good electric conductor and good heat conductor. So metal can conduct heat and electricity. Can conduct heat and electricity. Look, metal, the blue one here, in the left and in the middle of the periodic table, while non-metals, green, toward the right. What's meant by non-metal? Non-metal is an element that is a poor conductor of heat and electricity, while metal, good conductor of heat and electricity like iron. But non-metal is an element that is a poor conductor of heat and electricity like silicon and sulfur. Silicon and sulfur are non-metals, have a poor conductor of heat and electricity. This is a comparison between metals and non-metals. Metals, good conductor of heat and electricity, while non-metal, poor conductor of heat and electricity. Metal, malleable, as it can be beaten into thin sheets like iron, can be beaten into thin sheets like steel. Ductile, can be stretched into wire like copper, while non-metal, brittle, non-ductile and non-ductile. Metal, metallic luster, shiny, while non-metal do not possess a metallic luster. Metals solid at room temperature except mercury, while non-metal solid, liquid or gas at room temperature. Watch this video, this one.
We know that there are 118 elements in the world. These elements can be divided into two broad groups, metals and non-metals. About 70% of the elements are metals, while the remaining 30% are non-metals. Metallic elements share some similar properties, while non-metallic elements have their own set of properties. Let's take a closer look. To know which elements are metals and which are non-metals, we look at their physical properties. The first difference is, metals can reflect light very well. This is why they look shiny and lustrous. Non-metals, however, are dull. They are not very good at reflecting light. Another difference is that metals don't float in water generally, but non-metals do. This is because most metals are heavier than water, while most non-metals are lighter. This is why we fill balloons with non-metals rather than metals. Also because most non-metals are gases at room temperature like helium, hydrogen, oxygen. Few nonmetals are solids like sulfur, phosphorus and carbon. Carbon is an interesting element as it comes in many forms. It can appear as graphite, like the stuff inside your pencil, or diamonds, the stuff that people use as jewelry. Oh, look out! Who filled the balloon with bromine? Bromine is the only nonmetal which is liquid at room temperature. We do not put it in balloons. Did you know? We mostly use helium to fill our balloons. This is because it is safer and less reactive than hydrogen. Hydrogen and a lit match would be explosive. Metals, on the other hand, are mostly solids at room temperature. Some common examples are aluminium, silver, gold, and iron, except mercury. Mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. This allows us to use it in thermometers. Mercury is also used in a thermometer because metals are good conductors of heat. This means they heat up very quickly as well as cool down very quickly when the heat source is blocked or moved away. On the other hand, non-metals take time to heat up and to cool down. They're also more likely to catch fire. Moving on, let's see how we can light up this bulb. Let's try connecting the non-metal first. That doesn't work. But that's okay. We use them to cover wires so we don't get electrocuted. Fun fact: graphite can surprisingly conduct electricity even though it is a non-metal. Now let's see what happens with the metal. It worked! Metals are really good conductors of electricity. This is why we use copper to make most of the wires that run in your house. The reason copper is used and not other metals like gold and silver is because that would be too expensive. Can you imagine? Gold wires all over your house. Another reason metals are used for wires is because they are ductile. This means they can easily be stretched without breaking. Non-metals cannot be stretched. They are brittle, meaning they break easily. This also means they are not malleable, meaning they cannot be molded into different shapes without breaking or cracking, but metals can. Metals are also used in making cars, airplanes, or in factories for machinery because they have high melting points. A material is said to have a high melting point when it can absorb a lot of heat before softening and liquefying. In other words, it melts at a high temperature. Non-metals have low melting points, which is why most of them are gases at room temperature. Match the element to the correct example.
That's it. Thanks for watching.